When you're drunk and you get your heart broken, and it leaves the scars open. When you can't believe it's over, that's when you get a little older.
Hello, welcome back to another video. As you can see, I do have a cool new background, and again, as you can see from the title, this is another DIY room build thing. This one's very pink. Also, there was a lot wrong with this with this build. The kit itself didn't come with glue, so I had to use my old glue from my old set. If you want to go check out that video, it'll be up in the corner, top right corner of this video here. You can check that out either after or before this one, since this is kind of like a part 2. If you enjoyed that video, I think you'll like this one, considering there is a little bit more detail and you see me putting together a little bit more things. So without any further ado, let's hop in.
And here we are. This is my second voice recording. Hopefully it's as good as the first or better. So here I am kind of showing you guys everything that came in the box. That's the room that we'll be building. I'm flipping through the book and I have my scissors, the glue from the last set that I did, and I'm taking a look at all the walls. I actually purchased a little kit, well, 2 things to make a kit. One of them is the purple cutting board thing. It made things so much easier and nice and slipperier to cut things. The other one I'll be showing you guys is the little knife kit, X-Acto knife kit, and that one, like, that kit was so useful as well. So here I am putting all the walls. If you saw my first one, I kind of got the walls together and then I realized I'm missing a wall. I found it, don't worry, but I wanted to make sure that I had everything all together. Me putting my hand there for that split second was showing how, like, smaller the other one was compared to this one, so I was happier that this one was quite bigger. I'm showing all the things in my kit. The tweezers were so useful to have. They're not the best tweezers, but they were, I was glad I had them. I was also excited for that scraping thing. In my last video, I explained to you guys how when I put glue on the flooring and the wall, how, like, you'll see, like, the little glue lines. So I tried to, like, flatten it out, place it down on the glue side, like the paper side, to make sure while it's drying that it is flat as possible. So I was excited for that little tool. Here I am cutting the pieces, kind of like different sections apart, just so it's more organized, and if I'm looking for something, it's not this big sheet of paper. I wanted to start off with the flooring and the walls first this time instead of furniture. That's usually how I do it, but last time I was trying to follow the book in the certain order. This time I was like, yeah, no, I'm just gonna do my own thing. There's also, you'll see in the flooring, that's the flooring, how there's like a white square that you're supposed to cut out, because there was a certain part to this. I did not know this when I purchased the room. There's actually a second thing that you can purchase along with this room, and that's like a little musical box thing. I didn't get that, and I don't think I had that option, which is weird. In the book it said that it was you had to purchase it separately, so I was like, okay, I wasn't going to use that anyway, so okay, I just kept the little square thing in there. I don't want a hole in my floor. This one was, again, this was a very different set than what I'm used to. This one you actually had to, like, fold in. So there I am kind of showing you that. Fold over the wall, I guess, so it looks like it wasn't a piece of paper just glued on, like I explained in my last video. I've never seen that for a wall. I've seen it for like shelves and tables and stuff, but not for a wall. I didn't end up gluing those little flappies because I didn't really need it. They're still there. I can add glue if I wanted to, but considering I was low on glue anyway, I didn't see it as a big deal. Now this thing I was so excited for. You can actually see little crinkles in the floor from the glue. I didn't really notice a difference with it, and it kind of gave me the heebie-jeebies, kind of rubbing paper. So it wasn't fun. So I just played with it there. It just wasn't what I expected. So then I put the wall on, and as you can see, I'm not gluing the sides of the walls for the little flappies. I didn't have a whole lot of glue, so it wasn't a huge priority. Later when I get more glue, I think I might kind of focus on those, but I'm not really worried about it. Sorry, that was my dog snorting, if you did hear that. And then here I wanted to put the shelves together. So now that the walls and flooring are drying, I wanted to put the shelving together. This was a little bit of a process. I actually showed you what process I was looking at. So it was talking about B4s and B3s. So I grabbed the little B section, and it was pretty obvious that those were the shelves. So I grabbed that, and then I took all the obvious shelves out, leaving the little pink bits of whatnots that we'll see later. And so I looked at, these are like 3 shelves in one bag. So I took a while here. I had to cut a lot out because I was so confused. Finally, I found the walling. I found the little floor part. I found which ones go together, which ones don't. Apparently, I didn't cut enough out. I'm still kind of looking. It was a bit more confusing. And here I am kind of like, okay, I found my rhythm here. So here's the side part of one. It's kind of 2 shelves slash side table put together, which I didn't think would be a big deal. I didn't think it would be too confusing, but it kind of was. There's that. And I loved this little cutting board. I don't know what it's called. We're calling it a cutting board for this part, particularly because I could see the straight lines. So for anyone who is a perfectionist, this is perfect. I was so happy with this. I just wanted it so I can cut the pieces of paper without cutting anything underneath. And I figured it was a cute little, it made sense. And then this is the part in my first video where I talked about how you had to like kind of push pieces of wood out of wood. And I was like, oh, I should have filmed that. I filmed it this time. So it really is just pushing. It's like already cut with a hot iron thing. And you're just going to push them out. These, you normally don't just glue kind of like the white pieces. You normally cover up with paper, which I'm showing you now. And that's basically in every set that I've noticed I've gotten through the years, is those are always covered up by better looking paper. So if you see those, it's probably going to be covered up. It's really weird too. The wall, I have 2 walls and a flooring piece. Usually both walls are covered by wallpaper. This wall, like only one wall was covered by wallpaper, as you saw. I only glued one wallpaper, and the other wall was just plain white wall. You even see the holes, which isn't ideal, but it's okay. You'll see eventually I do cover it up. And there's one glued together. If you've seen my past video, you kind of see this process of you just glue the flappies. I don't really I don't glue the middle. I just glue like the outside flaps, just to make sure that those are glued tightly. As long as the ends are glued, the middle's fine. It's just getting it all straight and not wavy. And then I glue that on top. I actually made, like, I still have extra glue, and I'm basically done the room. So that glue was awesome. Awesome amount of glue in there. Usually all kits come with glue. This is the first kit that I've gotten that didn't come with glue. My last kit was the first kit that I got that didn't come with an X-Acto knife. And that's why I purchased some X-Acto knives just in case it didn't come with it. And I'm glad I did. But I didn't think of getting glue because usually they do come with glue. And then here you don't see much of the gluing process for this one. You mostly see kind of how I put things together in my mind. So when I glue it, I know which piece is what, and I just put it together really quickly. So this is my this is my little process to finding what goes what, and then I just glue it really quickly. So there I'm like, okay, this is the top, this is the side, and then there's a divider, and I'm like, okay, that one wasn't it, and this one is it. So in the next clip, apparently I'm still confused. And now I'm like, okay, I got this. So then you see me gluing it in there. It's currently upside down for you guys. No, it's upside down for me, right side up. So here's the top. And then I just kind of hold it for a bit, making sure that it's all straight. And now I am putting the walls together. As I said, this glue, it really, like, it gave me 2 rooms out of the glue, so it was really, really good. Also, compliment to the glue. I find that I have to hold the walls. I don't know if it's just the walls or if it's the glue, but I usually have to hold the walls for a good while with the glue and make sure it's fully dry before I do the second one. The second wall, I was totally fine. I was like, okay, you seem sturdy. Let me put in the second wall here. I don't know. It worked out really well. It sat really well. I was happy with this. Again, I don't know if it's glue or if it's the wall. And then I hold it. But as you can see there, that's the holes. That's actually for the music part. So that big hole is for the little crank, to crank for the music. Which is really cool. Like, if you're into this just for the hobby and you want that as a display, that's super cool. But I want it more for filming. So it's not really, it doesn't really make sense for me. So I'm totally down with not having the musical part. Here I am cutting the pieces of paper. Those are pictures to be hung on the wall. And you'll see little borders around the pictures. I love these types of pictures. Usually you glue it to a piece of cardboard and then you basically glue that to the wall. Or in my case, I sticky tack it. The borders are actually meant to wrap around pieces of wood. So those are actually wood paintings, and I love that. Then I moved on to some curtains. I stressed out with those curtains. So, like, I almost didn't want to do it. But I got this room for the purpose of the curtains, so I had to. And then if you watched my other video, there was a little tiny kind of like this thing, a little radio. And it was basically just the block, and then you paint a piece of paper on it. Glue a piece of paper on it. This actually had little knobs, which was adorable. So I loved that. And usually in these kits, like, there's always things that are so adorable that you got, like, it makes you happy to put together. Same with these little, I want to say orange slices, but they're like grapefruit because they're pink inside. I love these. They're actually supposed to be placed on a little tray. I never even put the tray together just because I have an actual little tray versus a cardboard tray. So I wanted to just cut them out. These are the plants that I'm showing you guys. right now my mom's looking at me, showing me food and bringing it out to the patio, and she's like, come and eat. And I'm like, okay, let me just do this real quick. So the next scene will be after dinner. And then those leaves are tedious. You'll see in a minute. So you have to cut every single leaf with the tiny knife, and it was so tedious. But it looks amazing after, so it was worth it. And I knew it would be from past sets that I've done, so I was like, oh great, this process again, but it'll be pretty. This hole I make gigantic later. I don't know what I was thinking with that tiny hole. So that is a piece of paper basically. I already kind of folded it before the videos. I clicked record, so I did it again, kind of just to show you guys how I got that shape. And then I don't know why, but I wanted to show you guys where I was going to glue it, and like how it's pretty obvious, but I wanted to make sure it was obvious for you guys. And then I want to show how that would glue onto the base, and then taking the top, gluing that on there. So that's all glued by this point, and then I just glue on the top. And just like that. Again, I don't know what I was thinking with that tiny hole. I make it much bigger with the knife. So to make the little plants, you basically, I didn't even follow the book here. I just remembered doing it from the past. You want to measure out how big you want your stems, I guess. Leaving a little room for a little bend there, just like I show you guys here. Leaving a little room. And then you want to take that little bent piece, put a little glue on there, and then take your leaf and glue it right there, like that. Now in here, ta-da! There's me making the hole bigger. So in here, the stems are very erect and straight. I've since then kind of curved them so they look more like a plant curved. And then here I thought I was done, but I wanted to make one taller one. So I did that, and then I dropped it, but I got it. And yeah, so basically, like, take it one at a time, put one in there, and then make your next one, and then put the other one in there, and kind of see where you want your stems, and it's really more to your liking. You can have as many leaves, as less leaves. I think I have like 3 or 4 extra leaves that I didn't end up using. So you could have even put more if you wanted. There's also a part that I didn't really do here. I just forgot, I guess, with all the fun I'm having with the leaves. And that's like wrapping a piece of rope around the base of the plant. You'll see it later. And right here, I'm adding a little dopplet of glue to the stems just to make it a little bit more full. When I tried bending the leaves so it wasn't as straight, I ended up losing those leaves, so I can glue them back on, but just be aware you might want to make sure your plant's 100% perfect before you do that part. And I've never even seen that be done. I was just like, I want it to be fuller with less stems, so that's what I'm gonna do. And then here, these are some like boxes. The smaller parts are the lids, the bigger ones are the box themselves, I think. No, other way around. Little ones are boxes, bigger ones are tops. Yep, that's it. And then I want to show you guys how you just kind of fold it, glue the flaps, and there's our rope. And then I also put together a little plant. These are actually little beads in the shape of vases, which is adorable. So I made one, and then I realized I never even filmed it, so I want to show you guys how I kind of came up with that. And then you take a little cutting of a tiny plant and glue it in there. It's more your creativity, your purpose, your preferences. So I took one of the pieces of paper, glued it to the cardboard as it said in the book, and this will be our couch, which is adorable. It actually, once it's folded, it looks like a little pizza box. It was so cute to make. I was so stressed making it though, because cardboard is so hard to bend at a straight line. So I tried using the tweezers here, but it wasn't working. Again, if you hear my dog snoring, I apologize. So I finally got it. Again, it looks like a little pizza box. Super cute. And then I didn't bother gluing anything else but the flaps, which turned out to be pretty good. I was a little bit worried how those flaps would make sure it all stayed together, but it did. These two flaps here didn't want to get in and fold in, so rather than gluing my finger, which I learned during the cloth process, the glue can burn your fingers, so there's that. I didn't want to use my fingers to get full of glue, so I used the tweezers there. So here I am making the smaller one. There is a couch one. Nova, please don't bark right now. There is a couch one and then like a footrest. So you'll see a smaller one and then a bigger one. Nova, don't bark. And then this, I totally could have glued the cardboard to the fabric, but I didn't. I did it the hard way. And then here's the pink fabric, just already glued on top of that. I struggled, as I said. I burnt my fingers at one point holding the glue down. It was a mess. It really was a mess. I dropped one down there. It's on my lap. So then I go to grab that after. There I am, sitting Callie on there. And now I glue that. And I love this little detail too. Like, it totally could have just sat on the floor, or they could have gotten like pieces of wood to like, oh, just hold that up with wood. I love these little details. That was probably my favorite part of the whole process. That and putting the pizza box together, because that was adorable. And then this is the backing to the little, it's not really a couch, it's like a little seat, backing to the seat, I guess. There's so many noises going around here lately. I'm sorry if you hear anything. And then I was winging this the whole time. The book was closed. I just kind of like, okay, this is supposed to go here, right? Slap that on there. And then here I am, all done. I was so excited she could sit on it. And then that could be used as a chair too. Now there were supposed to be like 4 tiny pillows made with this, I think. I made one big one. I was not planning on making pillows. I made a big one and I was like, let's try it, see it. So.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Definitely hit that like button if you haven't already, and subscribe for more videos. I'm sure there'll be definitely more DIY rooms that I'll be putting together. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Comment down below, let me know if there's any room that you have found online that you think would be pretty cool for a setup, or if there's anything else you'd like to see in the future. Thank you for watching. Bye!
That's when you get a little cool.